Welcome to Rebel Revenue Latte, where we break the rules of traditional B2B marketing and make it work. Let's kick back, grab a strong latte, and challenge the status quo. Because in B2B, playing it safe won't get you ahead, it'll just get you ignored. If you're ready to shake things up and rethink how marketing really drives revenue, this is the place to be. Just fresh takes, rebel moves, and strong aroma of success. So, pour yourself a cup, lean in, and let's rethink B2B marketing, one rebellious sip at a time.
We're always hearing about AI changing, everything, right? Well, today we're going even deeper into generative AI, and it's going to be pretty interesting.
It really is, and we're not just talking about AI that analyzes data. This is AI that creates, and it's already shaking things up big time.
So paint me a picture here. We've all heard about AI writing poems and even scripts, but what's the bigger picture here? And more importantly, how does it impact our listeners?
Okay, so think of it like this. Imagine feeding a supercomputer all the information on the internet. Every book, article, even every song. That's essentially what generative AI does. It learns, right? It learns patterns from this massive amount of data and then uses that knowledge to create something entirely new.
So it's not just like rearranging existing information, it's actually coming up with new ideas, new stuff.
Exactly. Remember struggling to find that perfect image for a presentation? Well, generative AI can just create one for you, tailored to your specific needs. And it's not just images. We're talking it can write different versions of that presentation, adapt it for different audiences. I mean, it can even compose background music.
Okay, that's a serious time saver for sure. But let's talk quality for a second. How good can AI-generated content really be? I mean, is it truly creative, or is it just a really good imitation?
That's the exciting part. It's not just mimicking, it's pushing the boundaries of creativity. I like to think of it as a collaboration between human ingenuity and artificial intelligence. For instance, visual artists are using AI to generate completely new design concepts that they never would have imagined on their own.
So we're talking about AI as a creative partner, almost.
Precisely. And it's not just art. Architects are incorporating AI-generated designs to optimize buildings, making them more energy efficient, more sustainable.
That's a whole other level of impact. This isn't just about making things, it's about making things better.
Absolutely, and it gets even more interesting when you look at fields like healthcare. Imagine AI analyzing thousands of medical images, helping doctors diagnose diseases earlier and with more accuracy than ever before.
That has the potential to be revolutionary. I mean, early diagnosis can make a huge difference in treatment outcomes.
Exactly, and it's already happening. AI is speeding up drug discovery by analyzing complex biological data, which means new treatments could be available much faster.
So we're talking about AI potentially saving lives. That's incredible. But let's bring it down to earth for a moment. How does generative AI impact our listeners' everyday lives, like right here, right now?
You know how frustrating it can be to write an important email or craft that perfect social media post? Generative AI can help you with that. It can suggest different phrasing, help you sound more confident, or even generate different versions tailored to specific platforms.
Okay, that's something everyone can relate to. But is this the end of human creativity as we know it? Are we all going to be out of jobs?
Not at all. It's not about replacing human creativity. It's about augmenting it. Think of it this way. What if you could offload some of the more tedious, repetitive tasks to AI? That frees you up to focus on the bigger picture, the strategic thinking, the truly creative aspects of your work.
I like where you're going with this. So it's not about AI taking over. It's about AI giving us almost like superpowers to do what we do best, only better.
Exactly. It's about working smarter, not harder. Take a marketing team, for example. Instead of spending hours brainstorming ad copy, generative AI can generate multiple options based on specific keywords and target audiences.
That's huge. It frees up the marketing team to focus on strategy, messaging, connecting with their audience on a deeper level.
Precisely. It's about harnessing the power of AI to enhance our capabilities and achieve even greater things.
This is already mind-blowing, and we're just scratching the surface here. But before we get ahead of ourselves, let's take a closer look at some of the specific ways this technology is being used today. I'm particularly interested in how it's impacting the world of art and design.
That's a great place to dive deeper. We're seeing some incredible things happening in those areas. For example, there's this fascinating new art form called generative art. Artists are using algorithms and AI to create works that are constantly evolving.
Okay, that sounds really cool, but can you break it down for me a little? What does that actually look like in practice?
Hmm.
Is it like a computer program that just like paints a picture?
It's kind of like that, but much more dynamic. Imagine a piece of art that changes based on real-time data, like the weather or even the stock market.
So it's interactive, responsive. That's wild. What's driving this kind of innovation? Are there like specific tools or platforms that are making this more accessible to artists?
There are new software programs are popping up all the time that allow artists to experiment with generative AI, even if they don't have a background in coding. They can input their ideas, and the AI helps them bring those concepts to life in ways they never thought possible. It's really blurring the lines between art and technology in exciting ways.
It sounds like it's opening up a whole new world of possibilities for artists. What about the design world? How is generative AI being used there?
Oh, it's having a huge impact on everything from product design to architecture. Imagine a furniture designer who wants to create a chair that's both aesthetically pleasing and ergonomically perfect. Generative AI can analyze thousands of data points, body measurements, materials, stress points. It helps design a chair that's not only beautiful, but also incredibly comfortable and supportive.
So it's like having this incredibly efficient design assistant that can just like process information on a level we could only dream of.
Exactly. And the applications go way beyond furniture. Architects are using generative AI to design buildings that are more energy efficient, sustainable, and even responsive to their surroundings.
We've talked a lot about the creative side of things, but how is generative AI changing the way we consume and interact with information?
Oh, it's already transforming the way we search for information. Instead of just typing keywords into a search engine and getting a list of links, imagine having a more conversational, intuitive way to find what you need.
So you're saying instead of me trying to figure out the right keywords to use, I could just like have a conversation with the AI
Yeah.
and it would understand what I'm looking for.
That's the idea. And it could even help you synthesize that information, pulling together relevant insights from multiple sources, almost like having a personal researcher at your fingertips.
That would be a game changer, especially with like the overwhelming amount of information available online these days. It's like having a personalized filter for the internet. What about the way we learn? How is generative AI impacting education?
It has the potential to revolutionize education, really, by creating personalized learning experiences tailored to each student's individual needs and learning style.
That's always been the holy grail of education, but it's been so difficult to achieve with, traditional methods. How would AI make it possible?
Imagine a world where every student has access to a virtual tutor that can adapt its teaching style, its pace, and even the content itself to match how they learn best. Some students learn best visually, others through hands-on activities, and still others through more traditional methods. AI can personalize the learning experience to make it more engaging and effective for everyone.
That sounds incredible, especially for students who may struggle in traditional classroom settings. It could really level the playing field.
Absolutely. And it's not just about personalized tutoring. Generative AI can also be used to create engaging educational content like interactive simulations, immersive virtual reality experiences, and even personalized textbooks that adapt to the student's current level of understanding.
This is truly revolutionary stuff. But as with any powerful technology, I imagine there are challenges and potential downsides to consider.
You're right. As exciting as these advancements are, it's crucial to acknowledge the potential challenges and ensure that we're using this technology responsibly.
We've covered a lot of ground here, from AI-generated art to personalized education. It seems like the possibilities are, pretty much limitless. But as with any powerful technology, I'm sure there are challenges we need to consider. What are some of those challenges? And how can we make sure we're using this technology responsibly?
That's the million-dollar question. One of the biggest challenges is ensuring that generative AI is used ethically, making sure it doesn't perpetuate existing biases.
That's a really crucial point. Can you give me an example of how that might happen?
Sure. Let's say you're using generative AI to develop a system for screening job applicants. If the data used to train that AI contains historical biases, for example, if it primarily reflects hiring patterns that favored certain demographics, well, the AI system might unintentionally perpetuate those biases in its recommendations.
So even though AI itself isn't inherently biased, the data it learns from can be, and that's something we need to be incredibly careful about.
Exactly. It's like, teaching a child if you give them biased information, they're likely to develop biased views. We need to be mindful of the data we use to train these systems and constantly evaluate them for potential biases.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
What about the impact on jobs? Earlier, we talked about AI augmenting our abilities, but there's always that concern that it could eventually replace certain jobs altogether.
It's a valid concern, and it's definitely something we need to be having open conversations about. While AI is unlikely to, replace humans entirely, it will undoubtedly change the job landscape. Some jobs may become automated while others will transform, requiring new skills and knowledge.
So adaptability is key here. What can our listeners do to prepare for these changes and stay ahead of the curve?
One of the most important things is to honestly embrace lifelong learning. Technology is constantly evolving, and the skills that are in demand today might be different tomorrow. Stay curious, explore new fields, and definitely don't be afraid to learn new things.
That's great advice. So as we wrap up this deep dive into generative AI, what's the one thing you want our listeners to take away from this conversation?
Generative AI has the potential to reshape our world in some really profound ways. From the way we create art to the way we solve global challenges, it's up to all of us to stay informed, engage in these thoughtful discussions about its implications, and work together to ensure that it's used for good.
Couldn't have said it better myself. It's an exciting time to be alive, and we're just at the beginning of this incredible journey. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of generative AI.